Hello, this is the video of my new piece. It's a portrait number 12. It's a drawing, graphite and for the first time charcoal on paper. It's 150 by 120 centimeters. Here you have the first stages where we just make the drawing grow in a balanced way. First pushing the dark areas and then following with the medium or light tones. And for this part of the process, I'm going to use mainly these tools, the electric eraser and any other kind of eraser. This matchstick. I'm using this for the first time too. Pencils, Valero or Faber-Castell, and for the first time this pressed charcoal pencil that will add a new tone of black. What we'll do here will be working with a lot of lines and drawing and blurring the whole thing with my finger. I use that all the time because this way it helps me connect the elements of the drawing constantly and not make the eyebrows grow independently. My finger helps to blend it all together. So a lot of lines, a lot of blurring and blending, and pushing the whole drawing to make it grow in a balanced way. That is the main thing. At this point we will apply this coat of water and glue in a proportion of 15-20% of glue all over the drawing to create this thin screen that will protect the drawing for what's coming afterwards. And at this point, I will include what is totally new for me in my drawings, that is adding to this water and glue mix charcoal powder. And that will take the drawing, as you can see in the image, to a new level of darks. We will get almost black areas that will push the whole drawing to a new different stage. And so we'll have to work hard on the rest of the drawing to match it up with the dark areas that we just created, as you can see in the image, okay? And to get this, we're going to work with a variety of tools. Here we have the pencils that I use, Staedtler and Faber-Castells of different numbers and hard and soft ones. Here's the F. It's one of my favorites because it's this kind of medium drawing that you can use in both slightly dark areas and light areas, depending on how much you press it. Here you can define the elements and at the same time you mix them together. Here when you go to darker areas, like here with the lips, a lot of pushing and blending with your fingers, but here you can change to B, to B, no more because you don't want to get too dark so fast. No? But it's important here that at the same time that we define the elements. For example, here we are sticking the nose out. At the same time, you want it to blend with the rest of the drawing. You don't want it to be artificial. So first you work, as you can see here, defining that element and then mix it all together with the rest, okay? Here we have the new element that I'm using for the first time, at least this much in the drawing, that is this much stick. It's really good because it's a different kind of track and texture that is going to add to the drawing. It's going to take it to the darker level, but creating a lot of texture and richness in the skin of the drawing. And now we get what to me is probably the most important element in my drawings, that is the washings, the clean water washings. Remember that we add a whole coat of water and glue in the first stages of the drawing, and that screen that created this coat is there keeping the graphite kind of protected. When I put this water, this clean water with this thick and soft brass, what I do is I melt this graphite contained in the screen, and it floats and moves freely in these washings and settles down randomly, creating a fantastic world of textures in those little elements, lights and darks and medium tones. As you can see, you cross dark areas with lights and you connect them all. And the graphite is going to play in a very creative way. And here you can enhance the lights, for example, this drop falling from the lips. And you cross the lines, as you can see here, and connect dark areas with lights. And so trying to create a chaotic world of textures instead of a real organized one. And with all these tools and and methods and processes, we're getting to these final stages of the drawing where we have pretty much the whole thing defined. And here we have clean water, kitchen paper, and a brush, a little harder brush. And we're going to work on the last thing we're going to show here how to work on, and is this part of the hair where we have the darkest and the lightest part getting together. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it soaked in water with a spray, because it's a big area, and with the brush it will take forever. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to melt them naturally together. We're going to use the brush to, once we apply the water, just melt down the connections between the dark areas and the dots and lines of light. And even though we apply these dark areas, remember, with this charcoal powder with glue and water, and is strongly attached to the paper, it will let us work on it and melt somehow the edges, the connection between them, to make them work. Okay. And here is the final stage of the drawing. Hope you like it. Let me just mention that for the final varnish, what I did was I applied a whole coat of thick water and glue to protect the drawing, and then on top of that I used oil varnish. You can use Damar or GJ Viver from Lefranc. I love that, and it will work as in an oil painting, and will enhance and recover all the strength of the dark areas that you work on. Hope you like it. Thank you so much for your interest and attention. Bye bye.